Hi guys, Dean here from the selfcontainedcreative.com, place on the internet that tries to speak about and help people in the creative space. So today we are talking about creativity and what is creativity, how to be creative, and also if creativity is for the select few. So being creative can be both a blessing and a curse. So if you're a creative person, you sort of wear your heart on your sleeve, you create things, whether that's art or music or video, so any sort of creative medium. And it's sort of like you create something which is out there to be judged. So you're constantly, when you create something, you put it out there, and the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to see it, and then that leads to all sorts of problems. Sometimes you won't even create it because you think that what people will say, people might not like what you do, and then you get this internal conversation going where you don't even create the thing in the first place because you've talked yourself out of it and get yourself into such a mental sort of movie in your head, sort of, will people like it, won't they like it, and is there even any point in doing this? Very much so like being a person who makes YouTube videos like this. So today I want to just talk about if creativity is something which is for everyone, or if there are just a few people who can be creative. So in this video I want to talk about, first of all, how creativity is not for the select few and how it is for everyone. Everyone is a creative person, everyone has creativity, everyone has the ability to be creative, but one problem: everybody puts themselves into boxes. So have you ever heard somebody say he's an academic, or she's a creative, or he is and has an engineering mind, or something like that? So people put themselves into all sorts of different boxes, which is brilliant for what they do, but also it limits them. So your first limitation is being put into a little box. So what I would say, if somebody asks, can anybody be creative, is yes. Everybody has a mind, everybody has a brain, and everybody has thoughts. So there are people who think that creativity is just for those who will just sort of sit there and be in peace and love, and like creativity just flows through you. But that's rubbish. As a creative person, I believe that creativity is something which happens. It does flow through you. It comes at the most strange times, in the strange places, maybe when you're in the shower, or maybe when you're trying to drop off to sleep at night and then you get an idea. That sort of thing does happen, but creativity can happen to anybody. Creative thoughts can be had by anybody. So, creativity, what is creativity? So if you were to say that somebody was a creative, you might think that they were maybe a musician or a songwriter or an artist or something in the arts. But if you look at the dictionary definition for creativity, or what a creative is, it says, let me just check this. Being a creative involves the use of a skill or imagination to produce something new or a work of art. So in the dictionary description of what a creative is, or being creative is, the words work of art come secondary. So you might hear the words creative, academic, hands-on, or a visionary. These are little boxes which people get put into with regards to their abilities and the type of people that they are. And when people get put into these boxes, quite frankly, I think that is the least creative thing to do. So to put somebody into a box, a description of what they are, an academic person, is to limit the creativity in the first place. So although creativity isn't something which sort of, just comes to you in a peaceful state, you can actually limit creativity by putting yourself into boxes and creating this limitation on yourself as to what sort of person you are. Because a lot of people will tell themselves, I can't be a creative person. I've been working in the creative industries for the last 10 years. Which actually makes me feel really old. I've been a singer, songwriter, I've got a degree as a sound engineer, videographer, designer. So I've worked in lots of different parts of the creative industries. But I don't necessarily consider myself as a creative or just put myself into the creative box. So say for example I was to work in a supermarket like Tesco, or anybody in the US, Walmart, or that sort of thing. Am I confined to just being a store assistant? Or if I'm a bricklayer, am I confined to just being a person who lays brick after brick, just day after day, in rows? No. My main point is that anybody and everybody in anything that they do for work or fun can be creative. So Brunel was an engineer who worked with unforgiving materials like stone and metal to design some of the best suspension bridges and tunnels you've ever seen. But was he just an engineer? Was he just a problem solver? No. Those designs came from somewhere. And it's like when you see anything that's ever made or designed, that starts as a thought in somebody's head. We have so many thoughts all day, every day. So your thoughts may be the seed that is planted at the start of a creative process. You may have an idea and then act on it. You may start working on it and then it becomes something else. So yes, I believe that creativity is a thought that happens subconsciously. I think it's something, so the same thing that blinks your eyes, the same thing that puts air in your lungs, it's the same thing that gets you to work in the morning when you get to work in a car and you think, how did I even get here? Because your mind is so full of thoughts. The subconscious part of your mind is what is taking you there. It's doing all the things in the background. So the creative thoughts just come, and if you act on them, that is what will then manifest it into something that others will see as creative. So creativity is everywhere. It's in the music we listen to, it's in the art we look at, it's in the shops we go to, it's everywhere, it's all around us. If you take anything from this video, it's don't box yourself in. We're all human, we're all flawed, we've all got flaws. But the limitation you put on yourself by telling yourself what sort of person you are, or other people telling you what sort of person you are, that is the limitation which will stop creativity dead in its tracks. So I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you take something from it. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. If you want to learn a little bit more about creativity and how to be more creative, you can watch the video above. And there will be much more videos on this channel about creativity. If you did enjoy the video today, please feel free to check out my website, www.theselfcontaincreative.com. Until then, there'll be lots more videos on this channel, and hopefully I will see you on another one. Until then, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and stay creative.